What's going on, squad? We back with some more life wisdom from the big homie. We gonna talk about universal laws. One of the biggest universal laws is energy controls all. So anything you do in life, you gotta understand that there's an energy behind it. So whether that's working or maybe an activity, whatever you say, whatever you speak about, how you feel, it's all energy based because we're all balls of energy. So oftentimes people think that they can achieve something through mere physical activity. So you can will it to be a certain way by forcing it with some sort of active motion that you're making. But it's not about that. It's about whatever energy you have on the inside. So if you're working with energy that's not matching with whatever you're trying to accomplish, you're not going to get towards your goal. You know what I'm saying? You got to be aware of whatever energy that you're working with because we're all beings of vibration. Energy is just vibration. So if you can understand that everything in the world is energy based and that with the right energy you can accomplish anything, then that makes it simple because now you know, okay, I just got to approach whatever situation that I'm dealing with the right energy. So be it whether you're trying to get a job, you trying to accomplish a goal, you trying to manifest a new relationship or whatever the case may be, don't matter. It's all energy based. Energy, again, is just a vibe. It's just a vibration. Vibration is nothing more than, like, say, for instance, when you go into your car and you get in there and you turn the radio on, whatever frequency you put that station on is going to broadcast whatever is emitting from said station. So I know here where we stay at, we got 93.7 and 98.5, but every different station has a different frequency. So whatever frequency you work with is going to be what you attract. Basically, whatever you set your receiver at is what you're going to attract. So it's a complex thing, but it's also really simple if you understand it. The law of attraction talks about that. Like whatever you put out into the world is what's going to come back to you. That's what you're going to receive. And that's how energy is. Energy never dies, it just transforms. So whatever you're putting out, you're going to get back, and you can't avoid it. It's the law of karma. You can't avoid whatever energy that you're working with on the inside. So no matter what you try to do to mask it on the outside, whatever energy you got on the inside is going to come to be, and you're going to see it in your reality. It's going to show. So you might be able to put a mask on and fake like you're doing this and doing that or whatever the case may be. You might be able to tell somebody a certain thing or whatever the case may be, but your actual reality is going to show where your energy is at. And it might not show it right then and there, but eventually it's going to be shown. However you're really operating or whatever you're really doing in your life is going to show, and people are going to be able to see it because they're going to be like, oh yeah, this person said this and said that, but that's not how their life is actually going. Like if you really look at it, don't seem like that's really how they're moving. It's real simple. So for me, I always make sure that I'm working from a place of pure energy. You know what I mean? Pure meaning intent. You know what I'm saying? If we go back to what you say, like if you say something to somebody, it's not oftentimes about what you say, it's about how you're saying it. It's about the energy behind what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? You could tell somebody you love them, but if you really don't mean it, then that person will be able to feel it when you say it. And they'll know, like in their core, they'll know, like, that didn't feel like real love. It sounded like you loved me. It may seem like you might have done some things that maybe seemed loving, but the energy behind it something was off. You'd be able to feel it. Those are the things that you have to pay attention to, is the intent behind whatever is being done or being said. So when you're dealing with anything, like, again, if you're dealing with anything, always focus on the energy behind it. And if you're doing something and you want it to come to fruition, make sure the energy that you're putting out is positive behind it. Because if it's not, and you come in with any ill intention, it's gonna come back on you no matter what you do. And you can't run from it, you can't avoid it. Even if it might not happen the next day, a week from later, a month from then, a year from then, but it's going to come back at some point, and it's always going to hit when you least expect it. That's what happens when you're doing stuff on the sly, on the low, or whatever the case may be. But if you're being honest and upfront and coming with pure intentions, not trying to hurt nobody, coming with love, coming from the heart, you're gonna see that in your life, no matter what happens. Like, even in bad times, a time might seem bad or whatever the case may be, but it's really not. It's just a situation you're going through that you need to learn something from. And then once you learn that, you'll be able to move on from said situation and become even more powerful than you were before then. So, and that's another thing we can talk about too, is like how you can transmute energy. So for me, I'm gonna talk about me personally. Even as a little kid, I've always been able to easily take a situation that seems bad in the moment and find the goodness within it. And that is what you would call being an alchemist, but that's a whole nother conversation for a different day. But basically, that's just, alchemy is just taking energy, an energy source that's coming in, and then transforming it into something different. So for me, anytime I come up into a situation that seems bad at first, I now, especially now that I'm older, I now understand that all that is really a sign to me that something good is about to happen in my life, and I need to take that energy and shift it. I need to take whatever bad feelings that are emerging from this situation, figure out what it is within me that's causing me to feel like it's a bad situation, and then find the positive aspects from it, and then transfer that energy into something positive. So again, for me, I make music. So that's how I transmute energy. That's one way how I transmute energy. Like, if something's going on in my life, I'll take it internally, think about it, and then I will convert it into music. And then I will make a song or make a beat or whatever the case may be, and then release it. Because once you deal with the situation, then you got to release it so that it's off of you now. And that's how you regain your power. If you sit within it and you don't face it and you keep running from it, that's when you don't grow. And that's what life is all about, growing. So again, back to energy. Energy never dies, it transforms. So if you ball up the energy, then you never give yourself time to transform. You never give yourself time to grow. You just stay stuck and stagnant into the same patterns and beliefs that you had that don't serve you anymore. Like, you can't stay stuck into a situation of believing in something that fits you when you were however old you were when that situation happened. You can instead look at the situation and say, okay, that situation happened, but it doesn't define who I am as a person. It only showed me something that I needed to know at that moment within that situation to be able to then, again, convert it into a different energy, release it, and then grow from it. So yeah, that's just one universal law, but energy is one of the biggest things. Like, basically what am I saying or talking about is like karma. Karma is energy that doesn't die. Again, karma is universal, so it's like the number 8. It loops back around. So it's like that old saying, what goes around comes around. It's true. Whatever you put out into the world is going to come back to you. without a doubt. And that also disproves that idea that life isn't fair. Life is very fair. Life is actually accurately fair. It's just you're not being fair to yourself because you're not understanding how the world works. And the big homie's here to tell you karma is real. You can't be going around doing stuff and talking about people behind their back and stealing or having ill intent or any of that type of stuff, because it's going to come back on you, and it's going to come back on you tenfold, and then you're going to be exposed and mad and then acting like somebody else did something to you when really you did it to yourself. Like for me, one of my biggest things is what I learned about myself is I have a big heart, so I'm always a really big giver, but you can overgive. You can overgive to where you're hurting yourself. And I used to feel like I was overgiving my energy to people who weren't reciprocating said energy. And then I'm getting mad at them because they're not giving me the energy back that I'm thinking I should get. But really, at the end of the day, I was doing that to myself. I didn't have to give them my energy as much as I was. You know, how can I be mad at you for me putting out more of myself than I needed to put out? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Even if you have good intent, you still can hurt yourself. And that's why you got to make sure you're in balance in whatever you're doing. So again, it goes back to energy. You want your energy to be balanced. You don't want to overgive or undergive. You want to give to yourself first and then give to those who are there and ready to receive said gifts after. You know what I mean? So again, one of the biggest laws in the universe and one of the most prominent laws, and it's complex, but it's really actually simple and common sense if you think about it, is energy. Energy doesn't die. Energy just transforms. And energy is universal. So whatever you put out into the world is going to come back to you. So if you have this knowledge, then that means you should be able to apply it to yourself in your life and do the right thing for yourself first by putting out good energy so that you will then receive good energy back. All right. That was a universal law from the big homie, and I'll be back with some more of those later. All right, y'all.